Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host,
What is
Pimpy.
going on out there, peeps? All right, we need to get around to what's going on in the world of finance because there's a lot of things outside of what's going on in the stock markets that seem to be interfering altogether. In case you guys have not figured it out, Prince Charles here, and this guy's looking awfully admirant of Prince Charles. It really makes me question him. But anyways, the Great Reset, it almost looks like it appears to either be doing one or two things. It either is quickly taking form, but most likely it appears like it's falling apart. Things aren't going as smoothly as they probably planned it to be. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Hey folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings in their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right, gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free half ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. And right now, as I said before, it is that time. You are not going to be able to appreciate the true value of gold and silver until the doo-doo hits the fan. And we are very close to doing that here. We're going to see how this plays out. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. And you guys know I have this alternative website. There's a lot of videos, I should say, over there about the RONA and evac, and I encourage you guys to go check it out. Fair use is in play here because there's a clip I'm going to play, and I don't want them trying to dink me over taking 2 seconds of it. Anyways. All right, so what's going on in the markets? So look, I did release a video this morning because I submitted it last night at 10 o'clock, and it took YouTube all the way to this morning. Talk a little bit about the markets, and at least with XRP, there is a huge anticipation of that one exploding. That rumor has been going on for quite some time, but I am curious as to the moves that were made regarding XRP to see how that's going to affect it. But if we look at the markets at the present moment, the funny thing about the Dow Jones, it's slowly but surely been falling down, but at the speed that nobody's really paying attention to. That it shows me that the big dogs are slowly but surely moving out of riskier assets. You look at gold, it's at 1767. It's getting up there just a little bit, and silver's at 2261. So they're quietly and slowly moving up, but I anticipate them being held down as well as the so-called elite continue to get out of riskier assets and get into more protective ones like physical gold and silver. Bitcoin teetering between, 48,700 and 47,700. It just keeps bouncing back and forth. Ethereum's still up there around 33, bouncing between 3,300 and 3,400. Everybody's waiting for them to break out. But over here, for the most part, you look at a 52-week average, Bitcoin, Ethereum, definitely Hex, there's no doubt about it. Cardano, Solana, all above the 52-week average. Luna setting records. These coins are on Kucoin, for those of you looking for them. All right, the link is down below, as well as to Coinbase, if you guys are interested in buying cryptos. Look at Avalanche over here. They're all, look at this, is a new high. Avalanche teetering around this 52-week average high. Atom, same thing, and Atom is on KuCoin. XTZ, is Tezos over there on both Coinbase and KuCoin. And taking a quick peek at the coins I've been playing around with, you can see Veracity, just slightly below that 4 cents level. Sandbox above the 80 cents, up to 81.5 cents. Is it trying to get back up to that $1.15? I don't know. It had a good case for it to be much higher than that. Maybe people are starting to recognize that. XRP, not doing very much. It's been bouncing around between $1 and $1.05. Again, XRP can buy on KuCoin. You gotta love this little side article. Gold price move up on track for a third straight gain. We like it. We'll take it. So we can see what silver's been doing for the past 24 hours. For the most part, it just looks sporadic. If we take a look at it hour by hour, after this major drop off, it is slowly but surely climbing back up. We expect precious metals to make their run, and with good reason, when you see stuff like this. Pandora Papers is an investigation based on more than 11.9 million documents revealing the flow of money, property, and other assets concealed in an offshore financial system. Why is anybody surprised that the rich and powerful, our politicians, have been ripping their citizens off for decades, and they hide them overseas? People forget that one of the political powers in Ireland was claiming that Obama was smuggling money over there in an offshore account for years, and nobody did anything about it. The Pandora's Papers. To me, this looks like one or two things are happening. Either the Great Reset is starting to throw those individuals that they feel are collateral damage, they could just throw under the bus, or are not cooperating in terms of how the Great Reset's supposed to go, or is this the Great Reset falling apart? Because there's a mixture of players involved. Some of them are key to the Great Reset, which is very questionable about what they're trying to do. Or is it that somebody really is like, you know what? I'm going to try to blow the whistle off this bad boy, and I'm going to put him out there. But what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of these people or end up going to be resigning, but nothing really happens out of them. And what you'll find a lot of times is people who are exempt from in here, the United States, the United Kingdom, there really isn't a whole lot when it comes to these types of leaks that involve these citizens. They are protected one way or another, which sometimes tells me that, hey, look, this is something that Soros seems to be behind us. There's no doubt about it. So it says the Czech Prime Minister, the King of Jordan, and the chairman of India's biggest conglomerate were amongst global figures denying wrongdoing on Monday after the leak of what major news outlets call a secret trove of documents about offshore finance. Well, we know the King of Jordan was part of that Abraham Accord, and there are some repercussions now. They're talking about bringing people to court over those individuals who signed the board now that Trump's not in office. Very interesting. India said it would investigate cases linked to the data dump known collectively as the Pandora Papers, while Pakistani Finance Minister Tehran said officials named in the documents would be investigated. We'll see what happens. The Kremlin said it had no evidence in the leaks hidden wealth amongst Russian President Vladimir Putin. Nobody in his entourage, but they did find something about one of his mistresses being involved in an offshore fund in which she used the money to buy a flat in Monaco. So this isn't the first time we've seen something like this happen, you guys. So what is this going to amount to? Nothing. Maybe some resignations at best, but nothing. And the reason why I know this, see, we had this before. Remember this? The Panama Papers. Remember when the Panama Papers were leaked? And in there, what did we learn? Nobody from the United States was in them. Nobody from Europe. Look at this. So last week's message to you regarding the Panama Papers release suggested, don't be duped. What impressed me immediately as very strange was there were no Americans or Europeans on the list of tax cheats, with the exception of David Cameron's family and 2 or 3 members of parliament. The skunk smelled then and still smells now. These are selective papers that are leaked. Last time I think the Panama Papers were linked to Soros, and I don't know about the Pandora Papers, but the thing about these papers, it almost seems as though they are targeting specific individuals in power. And who those individuals, well, we know who the individuals are, but why they are being targeted is something very interesting. But anyways, this is about the Panama Papers. This had a lot to do with it. If you remember, they leaked very similar to the Pandora's Papers, and nothing was done. Nothing whatsoever. So this I find is interesting. I bring this up for a reason, and yes, this all has to do with investments. So it says the deal with OxyContin maker leaves family angry, conflicted. So the creators, the family members are billionaires, and they were behind pushing this addictive drug and a campaign behind it to get people addicted to OxyContins. A lot of lives were lost. People were hooked on opiums. And so a judge came and said, look, you can go after the manufacturer, but you can't go after the family that owns it, even though they are behind this addiction. We're dealing with the RONA jab right now. I guarantee you, once the truth starts coming out and people start going after the manufacturers, they're going to be exempt. The judges are going to protect them. Politicians are going to protect them and their families. And that's why people should be up in arms, because a lot of people have lost loved ones. And there's a very strong possibility that I will lose my oldest child because He purposely went out of his way to get the jab to prove me wrong, so we'll see what happens. So what's really going on with the Great Reset? It seems to be falling apart. It could just be that it appears to be, and actually it's not, and it's moving straight forward. But you have to love what they're doing here. How the world can reset itself after the Rona, according to these experts. They're not experts. They're a bunch of paid individuals who are told to say things a certain way. Do we trust them? No, I wouldn't trust them with anything. Especially, I mean, seriously, what is going on here? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. This almost is the same face that Emmanuel, what's his name, Chicago mayor, looks at Obama sometimes. The Great Reset is a new initiative from the World Economic Forum and the HRH, the Prince of Wales, to guide decision makers on the path to a more resilient, sustainable world beyond COVID. So the same people who destroy the world are trying to give us a solution. Should we trust it? No. But anyways, I bring these guys up because a lot of the people that are being thrown under the bus, a big handful of them, are part of the Great Reset.
The more you tighten your grip, Tuck, the more star systems...
There's something about Star Wars, if you ever pay attention to it, it really has a lot of serious meanings behind it. Not just the fact that it deals a lot with Nazism. The part I always trip on is if you really listen to a lot of quotes from Obi-Wan Kenobi, they seem to be religious related if you really pay close attention to them. So very interesting Star Wars and how it's put together. So part of the Great Reset is the Green New Deal. My thing is this. Why do we need a Green New Deal? And they talk about, man-made weather. Well, yeah, okay. Let's go with this. Let's say even if it is, they're trying to tell us that all the decisions we make as human beings are causing the climate to change. But then you find out that the governments have been controlling the climate for years, decades. So once again, they create the problem and try to give us a solution. Look, if you could control the weather, then why are there droughts? Unless they want it to be. See where I'm going with this? And this is how they convince people to pay more in taxes because, we're dying. It's terrible. The climate's terrible. Yeah, well, you control the climate. So fix it. This Great Reset reminds me of, remember you have siblings and the bigger one goes up to the little one and grabs him and ties him up. Puts his arms around him, he grabs his hand and starts making him smack himself. And he goes, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? That's what the Great Reset's like. They're grabbing our hands and smacking us in the face going, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? I know a resolution to fix it. What do you mean? You're the one causing me to hit myself. The thing that gets me is that people are just too naive to do their own research to go out and find these things out. So we've been controlling the weather for a long time. So why not take the weather, go fix those areas that have a drought, go fix those areas in which there's starvation, go fix those areas in which people need water. Why? Oh, because they don't want to. It is better for them in order for them to push their agenda that people are suffering. They caused the problems in the first place. So Operation Popeye, that's the government's been controlling the weather for quite some time. Anyways, the reason why I bring all that up is because these new Pandora Papers are now starting to have effect in certain levels of government, which now the markets are starting to react to them. Now this is interesting. Ethereum losing steam to Solana, Cardano, and Polygon. I was talking about this, it's now in this morning's video. Last night I released it. It took a long time for it to get out, but this morning in the video it talks about I'm keeping an eye on Solana, Cardano, and Polygon. Rice actually mentioned this to me and said, look, I know you're a big fan of Ethereum, but these other cryptos you should be paying attention to. So indeed, I am paying attention to, or just be diversified in your cryptos. Okay? I am still getting together the information that I was talking about that I'm going to share with you because there's more to crypto than just saying, hey, I'm going to buy some Ethereum and hope you can get rich off of it. No, there's other things that are going on that I think you guys would really enjoy, and I want to make sure to bring them to you. Investors who bet a lot of money on Ether, the token on the Ethereum blockchain, had a rough month in September. Okay, but they're doing pretty good now. Ether monthly decrease fell to its second largest level since June. After a 16% drop to Pioneer Crypto, Bitcoin lost about 7% during September. In light of the historic rally in cryptos over the past 12 months, a pullback was expected. Yep, it was a correction. However, it is difficult to link short-term price movements to any particular event. Really? So let me get this straight. It says, it's difficult to link any short-term price movement to any particular event. Well, how about the fact that China outlawed cryptocurrencies and miners had to shut down, lowering the hash rates? slowing down everything until they got over here. I would say that's a pretty big event. How about the fact that China is saying they outlawed cryptocurrencies altogether? I would say that's a pretty big event. I don't know about whoever wrote this article. Ethereum's value has increased about 830%, which is the second highest in market value. Okay. Well, make up your mind. Is it losing or gaining? Yeah. I remember when I used to do Stock Watch, and I talked about everybody should jump on Ethereum when it was at $147. Let that sink in because I'm going to kick myself in the ass. I know already Rice is like, wait, didn't you have what? I think all in all I had 47 altogether because I needed 37 in order to move into this Ethereum 2.0 staking, and then I had like another 10. So I went back to look at my transactions, and it looks like I had 47. So if I had 47 altogether, yeah, ouch. Yeah, so I had a situation with my house that came up, and I had to sell them. Yeah, oh man, that hurts. Oh, that's not the only one. XRP had 68, oh, just a little over 68,000. Yep. And then XLM at about 60. So at 68,000 XRP and about 64,000 XLM. Yeah. So that would have been about over, just the three of them alone, I would have had about over $200,000 had I just left them alone after I did Stock Watch and told everybody, hey, this is what we should jump into. So yeah, I know, kick myself in the butt. Rice reminds me every chance he gets. Anyways, with these so-called Panama Papers and Pandora Papers, it's slowly affecting the market. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the Great Reset, but some of those figures are big dogs within the Great Reset clan. So I don't know if somebody is rocking the boat. Again, we noticed that there are specific individuals who are being targeted. Are those people useful idiots, the Knight of the Long Sword, and that's why they're being tossed into the bus? Or are those individuals refusing to comply 100% with what's going on? We will soon see. So Ethereum losing ground to Solana, Cardano, and Polygon, or Solana, Cardano, and Polygon. Well, again, be diversified. Have some Ethereum, have some Solana, Cardano, and Polygon. They're in Kucoin or on Coinbase. The links for those are down below in the description. The Bank of England gives 1 year to spend old $20 and $50 pound notes. So the Bank of England has sounded the alarm on the withdrawal of the paper 20 and 50 pound notes after September 30th, 2022, urging anyone who has these at home to spend or deposit them at the bank or post office. There's approximately $12 billion worth of paper out there. You know why? Because they want to go to digital. They don't want to have people have an alternative to the digitals. They want you guys to turn it, and that's going to happen here. They're going to tell us your notes will be no good if you don't turn them in. Well, if you turn them in, then you're stuck in the system. It's better for you to turn them in and get gold and silver and be outside of the system, in my opinion. But I believe there's a big reason for people to start taking money out of the bank and hold it, and then convince your local community to continue to use the paper dollars despite them forcing us into the 100% digital currency. You want something outside of that system because do you really want to give the government that much control? Must I remind you again? Yep, once again, our little friend Turtle. What does he tell you? I'm going to keep reminding you guys why you need gold and silver or something outside the system. How even cryptos. Here we go.
All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash. And there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
I don't know how much clearer they're going to be. Seriously, how much more clear? With cash, you have no idea who's doing what with what money. Both the new central bank digital currency, they can monitor everything we do with cash. And not only that, they have the tools to enforce that. So here you have the Bank of England telling everybody to give up their money. Now, when they say old notes, what do they mean by old notes? Are they just talking about notes in general? Even after the deadline, people with the UK bank accounts will still be able to deposit withdrawn notes into their account? It didn't say deposit withdrawal, it says deposit. They're pushing everybody into 100% digital currency. And they'll go, oh, it's much quicker, it's better. And they're going to use crime. Oh, there'll be no trafficking, there'll be no drugs. Oh, the government's going to find a way to still do that. They always do. They'll use slush accounts. They want to control everything, including the drug market. They're already trying now. This is just one of their ways of knocking out their competitors. And no, that doesn't make it any better. You're giving up your privacy, you're giving up your freedom when we go to 100% digital currency. So when the time comes, you better raise hell. But if you can't do that, at least be outside of the system. And how are you outside of the system? With gold and silver. I keep stressing that. I hope you guys figured that out. So yeah, what's going on with the Great Reset? There seems to be some jockeying going on. It is affecting the markets overseas. It is affecting our markets here slightly. What does it mean? Who knows? Because during the Panama Papers, only a couple people resigned. I don't remember anybody going to jail. We lost a couple of leaders. Big deal. Let the left eat their own. They always do. But just look, you need to start setting yourself up. We have banks reminding people what a bail-in is, which is dangerous. That's when they take all your money. So protect yourself. Gold and silver. Diversify. Have some cryptocurrencies. Okay? The links for the cryptos are down below, along with the link to money metals. So set yourself up properly. Protect yourself, you and your family. Okay? That's it for now. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.